Okay. Okay, MCU. Not the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life, but we're starting to move the ball forward. Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier, starring everyone you see in the poster to the right of me, your left, my right, on your left. Winter Soldier reference. This is a film that takes place in the MCU that had a lot riding on it. Maybe a lot riding that we didn't know at the time, but coming off of Brave New World, which was not very good. You've got Thunderbolts, which leads you right into release schedule wise Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday, Spider Man Brand New Day, Secret Wars. And assuming what we've heard about Fantastic Four being true, which is that it's very good, you've got at least 4 movies that are going to make a lot of money. So Thunderbolts, in between Brave New World, and before that Deadpool and Wolverine, and the big time run here that the MCU is about to go on. Can it usher in this next phase? Because this is apparently the last movie of Phase 5. That happened fast. This is a really good movie. It's not great. It's not top tier MCU in my opinion, but it is very different. And it's interesting because I saw a lot of reactions to this, and they were all saying the same thing. It's really solid. Really like it. Enjoyable watch. Feels more like a smaller independent movie than a big blockbuster MCU movie. But nobody was coming out and saying like, "Oh my God, blow the doors off. This is amazing." And now having seen it, I completely understand it. It is classic MCU in every good way and bad way. Now, bad not bad in quality, but some things that I wouldn't want in this movie are in the movie that are prevalent in all MCU movies. And there are some things that we've been asking for damn near 5 years since COVID to get the train on the tracks. And it feels like we're finally pushing this in the right direction. And this is the post Bob Chapek era movie to be untouched. Like Bob Iger came back for Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, and they tweaked a bunch of things around with Kevin Feige. Brave New World had a bunch of reshoots. This was the first post Chapek movie that wasn't touched at all, and it felt like a movie. And I don't want to say like, I don't know, there could be this vibe that you're getting from a lot of people that say like, well, Brave New World was so bad, at least this was something. I was worried about that. I was worried that it was just going to be like, are we giving this movie a pass because everything has been so bad recently, although it's not been as bad as some people are saying, but it's still not been great, no doubt about it. No, this is like a real movie, like with a structure and with a script, with characters that you want to root for and learn more about. All the performances are good or great. Florence Pugh is the standout along with David Harbour. And yeah, I've got problems with this movie, and we'll get into them. But the main takeaway from this movie, when I was sitting in my car driving home talking to my roommate about it, is I was extremely satisfied with how this movie ended. Because you know the idea. It's the Suicide Squad of the MCU. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. It's a ragtag group of misfits that are trying to come together and become a team. And that could either go really well, Guardians of the Galaxy, or really poorly, the Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad. That's James Gunn. It's very confusing. The way this group, initially, if you can imagine, they don't like each other, but they have a common goal in mind. We're going to talk about spoilers at the end of this review, just by the way, so stick around for that. No spoilers right now, though. They've got a common goal, and they come together. The scene where they finally come together, which obviously you know is in this movie, felt important. It felt like the filmmakers and the actors and the screenwriter of this movie had reverence for the MCU again. It wasn't just like, well, we just got paid to do a job, so we'll just get this done, and it's an assembly line, and it's by committee. No, when characters show up, they have like character reveals, and the music swells, and it was like, oh, so that's what this feels like. It's been a long time because Deadpool and Wolverine feels different. It's like a parody, and it's like this big spectacle, and it's not the best movie of all time, but it's one of the most fun theater experiences you could have. This is like the opposite of that. It has those poppy MCU moments, not a ton, but there are some, but it takes its time to structure things in a certain way. Again, I'm trying to dance around spoilers. Structured so well, in my opinion, that when it all comes together, again, that word again is satisfying. It's extremely satisfying. I also had a realization as soon as this movie opens, because the movie starts with Florence Pugh. We've never seen Florence Pugh on the big screen. Or I haven't, at least. I didn't see Black Widow in theaters because it came out day and day release on Disney Plus, and then she was in a TV show, and now she's finally on the big screen. Same with David Harbour. Never seen him on the big screen. We've obviously seen Ghost. We haven't seen John Walker on the big screen. And it was like, oh, this is fun. Remember when the MCU like brought all these people together, and it was just like, oh, these people are interacting together. Isn't this fun to see Yelena talk to John Walker, talk to Ghost, talk to Bucky? This is what it felt like. Classic MCU. Middle of the road MCU, like a Phase 2 movie. Felt like Iron Man 3, felt like Age of Ultron, right? The difference is the third act of this movie is very different than your classic MCU third act, and I think it worked extremely well. I'll be honest with you. The first 25-ish minutes, I was like, don't know if I'm feeling this. The banter that the group had in the beginning of the movie didn't quite hit for me. It felt a little lethargic and stale. There wasn't a lot of energy. I kind of wanted it to feel like this, and it felt like this. And I was like, pick up the pace. But the second David Harbour comes into the fray, or is that even how you say whatever I was just trying to say? Whenever he's on screen with the group, and then Bucky throws his hat in the ring, it took off. So the end of the movie, in my opinion, really made up for some of the shortcomings of the beginning of the movie, because they also have to bend over backwards to explain to the people who didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who didn't watch Black Widow, who the hell these people are, or if you didn't remember Ghost from Ant-Man, there's a lot of like, oh, didn't you do this thing a long time ago, and weren't you a bad person, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. But once we got into the middle of the second act, all the way to the post-credit scene, it felt like the MCU. That's also a negative, because I thought the tone of this was going to be a little darker, and it is a little darker, a little more serious. I would have preferred a lot of jokes, like maybe too many, to the point where I was like, probably shouldn't be making a joke right now. And Winter Soldier has a little bit of comedy in it, but I've heard some people comparing the tone of this to Winter Soldier. No, this is more Guardians of the Galaxy, if anything. And that's a positive and a negative, because the tone of Guardians of the Galaxy works because you've got all those, songs from the 70s and 80s, and you've got a bunch of comedians like Dave Bautista and Chris Pratt. In this instance, these are serious actors in a serious situation, and once in a blue moon, I was like, could we take this a little more seriously? But again, in the third act, when the big climactic moment is happening, and again, we'll talk about spoilers in a little bit, I really appreciated what this movie went for, and it made me a little emotional, which I did not expect the Thunderbolts movie to do. I really think the reason this movie works so well, and it's strange because to put all your eggs in this basket, Kevin Feige, is interesting, to say the least. But I had this realization a couple days before the movie. This group of people, the Thunderbolts, has been like the one consistent through line of the entirety of the post-Endgame era of the MCU. This goes all the way back to Homecoming. Who bought Avengers Tower? Then it sets up characters in Black Widow, in Hawkeye, in Falcon and Winter Soldier. You've got people like Bucky Barnes in this movie. You got people from Ant-Man and the Wasp in this movie. This was the one consistent through line, the Thunderbolts. And when you see them all on screen together, you go, okay, maybe it was worth it to set up at least this cohesive story. Don't know if you're ever going to see Harry Styles again, but the Thunderbolts are finally here, and it was extremely satisfying. My one overarching negative of this whole thing, I guess I have two, but really just one. By the way, the score is incredible. It's the composer of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Very different, again, ethereal, like reverent MCU score. I felt like people really cared about this, and sometimes you could feel that through the screen. And I think this movie in particular, I felt it. I really did. Again, it's not great, but it is on the right track. And we're about to go on a run here with these next 4 movies. I really do believe that. My main negative is, I really enjoy Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She is not the person for this role. It does not work. She's not funny. There is no energy with her. I don't know if she's sleepwalking through it or this is how she was directed to do things, but it does not work. I do not like this character at all. And it's not like, oh, she's a villain, I don't like her. It's just like, I don't care about her in the slightest. They try to make her like have a backstory, I'm like, next. I think she's miscast. In my mind, what could work here is like Frances McDormand. Remember her in Dark of the Moon, Transformers 3? Whatever that character was, a little more energy. Have her be that person. Like, Julia Louis-Dreyfus does not work for me. And Sebastian Stan, they didn't really use him that much, and he isn't sleepwalking through it, but boy, you can tell in his eyes, he's like, just kill me off already. Like, I'm so tired of being in the MCU. I get it. He's been there since the very beginning, and he's like, I'm good. I'm out. Probably after Doomsday or Secret Wars, we're probably going to kill him off. He's just going to retire and go off into the sunset. This guy does not want to be there anymore, but I appreciate that he's still clocking in and giving 110%. Spoiler time. If you have not seen Thunderbolts, get the heck out of here because we're going to talk spoilers. I'm probably going to go see it again to make sure I have my complete thoughts. But here's what I'll say. The asterisk. I thought for the longest time that it meant, spoilers here, Dark Avengers. And I feel a little bit vindicated because it's not Dark Avengers, it's New Avengers. And I will say, I was very happy to see them all lined up in the press conference and hear Valentina? I don't even know her name. See, that's how bad it is. Valentina say, these are your new Avengers. And then it cuts to black. Thunderbolts rips away and it says New Avengers. And the funny thing is, I'm sure the audience, most of the audience is like, are they the New Avengers? And then the credits sequence is people questioning, like, are they the New Avengers? And it doesn't feel like they are the complete New Avengers squad here because we still have Sam and Hulk and Thor and Shang-Chi and all these guys out here who are probably going to combine with them to create the actual Avengers, the mighty Avengers maybe. But I did appreciate that they really did it. They called them the New Avengers, and they're all sitting in Avengers Tower together. Before I talk about the post-credit scene, the end of the movie with Sentry, I didn't even talk about Sentry. Louis Pullman, unbelievable. This is supposed to be Stephen Yeun, but I'm kind of happy that it wasn't because I think Louis Pullman is perfect for this. Him at the end fighting the Void and them all jumping on to him to like pull him off but also to hug him, that actually made me emotional. And it's the performances and the score and the direction. Good job, Jake Schreier. That was legitimate emotion that you got out of me at the very least. The post-credit scene, they're in Avengers Tower. Sam Wilson's suing them for using the Avengers name, and there's a spaceship that shoots out of the sky. And you hear that score. Da-na-na-na-na. The Fantastic Four logo on the side of it. Yep, looks like they're not going to be able to survive their movie without coming over in the 616. But again, that feels like we're finally starting to build towards something. If this movie does well at the box office and people see that post-credit scene, it's only going to help Fantastic Four. And apparently the Russo brothers shot that post-credit scene, and it was on the set of Avengers Doomsday. So look, Thunderbolts, mid-tier MCU with a phenomenal third act. That's my review. Drop likes, drop comments. Please be sure to subscribe. It's free after all, no charge to you. I love you guys. And I'll see you next time.